We finally have the reason that Stephen Colbert was fired. We finally have confirmation from CBS. You know, the organization responsible for issuing his woke welfare and the organization responsible for keeping this polished turd on the air for the next 9-10 months. Of course, normal people and those worried that the earth might spontaneously combust, we are hoping that Stevie doesn't return from his annual summer sabbatical. Obviously, normal people are hoping that CBS airs something in that time slot that people will actually watch. While the climate crusaders, they are concerned that 10 additional months of toxic mouth farts could cause irreversible damage to Father Earth, who used to identify as Mother. Either way, we finally have confirmation as to why Stevie was fired. Well, KC, you told us weeks ago that Stevie was fired for being a huge, embarrassing failure. Yeah, the problem is the mainstream media refused to believe me. Hell, I didn't just tell you weeks ago. I've been telling you for years that Stephen Colbert would be fired for being a huge, embarrassing failure. I thought Jim Kimmel would be first, but Stevie, he turned out to be quite the ambitious failure. He grabbed the wheel of the Bruce caboose and drove straight into the promised land. For weeks, the media has tried to convince us that Orange Man bad was the reason that Stephen Colbert was fired. According to the media, everything is Donnie's fault. Temperature rises during the summer. Orange Man bad. The Big Dipper has trouble aligning with Uranus. Orange Man bad. They even blame Good News on the Trumper. They demonize him for things that should be uniting us. For example, Rose O'Donnell moves over to Ireland. Now she's polluting another country with her rose-scented boodle breeze. This should be something that unites all Americans. Matter of fact, why are we stopping with Rose O'Donnell? I think the Trumper could be onto something here. Since deacons at Woke United Methodist are advocating for illegal immigrants, why don't we exchange one hardworking migrant who wants to assimilate to our culture for every one of those that we give citizenship? Let's deport a woke wanker spanker. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's a brilliant plan. Earlier this week, CBS once again explained why they fired Stephen Colbert. Unsurprisingly, it had absolutely nothing to do with the Trumper and everything to do with Stevie being a failure. We love Stevie, we really do, but he wasn't profitable. This isn't the WNBA. We don't have the benefit of being subsidized. We have to actually produce results and be profitable. Recently, Stephen Colbert has come to the harsh reality that he's not getting his job back. No amount of whining, no amount of complaining, no amount of propaganda from his pretend friends in the mainstream media is going to be enough to change the minds at CBS. When you're losing $40 million every year, there's no such thing as friends. Now, Stevie has moved past the denial and anger stages of grief, and he's officially moved into the bargaining phase. Stephen Colbert has been reduced to begging. He is literally begging other platforms to subsidize his failure. Unfortunately for Stevie, he will soon be entering the acceptance phase of his grief, the phase where he comes to the realization that no one is willing to hire him. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. Are you struggling with back problems? Do you deal with minor aches and pains throughout your day and you don't want to go to the doctor because all the doctor is going to do is find something else wrong with you? Or even worse, prescribe addictive medication that you just don't want to take. Me personally, I hate going to the doctor. So does my wife, who actually deals with back pain. That's why she has started using CBD lotions and oils from Sugar Mountain Trading. Now, this is not THC. Not going to make you fail a drug test. These CBD lotions and oils, they are designed for rapid pain relief. Like I said, my wife deals with nagging back pain from time to time. Tried over-the-counter stuff. We've tried the chiropractor, but none of that ever seems to work. Within 5 minutes of me applying CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading, her pain is gone. I'm telling you, it's damn near magical. Sugar Mountain Trading also offers CBD bar soap that will keep you pain-free and smelling fresh at the same time. Bar soap comes in a variety of scents ranging from lavender all the way to cherry almond. All CBD products offered at Sugar Mountain Trading, 100% natural, 100% free of THC. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20. Save 20% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Thursday night, Stevie Colbert signed off CBS for what most people hope will be the final time. Every year at this point, Stevie goes on sabbatical. If I had to guess, he's probably spending the next few weeks with Jim Kimmel and Howie Stern, where the trio of huge embarrassing failures will support each other through pending unemployment. Howie, how could they fire you? You're a legend! Stevie, I don't understand why you're unemployed. That Covey dance you did was so funny and it was also informative. Hey guys, it's me, Jimmy! Isn't it ironic that I'm a bigger failure than both of you and I still have a job? Now, smack my ass. Ooga, ooga! If I was an executive at CBS, I would be spending the next few weeks trying to figure out how to get the hell out of this contract. Hell, even if you can't get out of the contract, you'd still save tens of millions of dollars by canceling this dump. Sure, you would be paying Stephen Colbert $15 million to do nothing, but he's already doing nothing. Since it was announced that he was getting fired, this show has gotten significantly worse. It's went from being a polished turd to being a steaming turd. It's become a platform for Stephen Colbert to whine and complain about being a loser. And now, he's using the platform CBS provides to beg for another job. Thursday night, Stevie was sedating his audience with his opening monologue. Towards the end of the monologue, he took a break from polishing the turd to polish his resume. He began pleading with Netflix and Amazon to subsidize his failure. Dear Netflix, my name is Stevie. Perhaps you've heard of me. I've had a legendary career. I took a show that was averaging 3 to 4 million viewers and making millions of dollars every year, and I made the show so unappealing to viewers and advertisers that we lost $40 million last year. I'm offering to do the same for your platform at a discounted rate. Call me your new friend, Stevie. Let me ask you something. Why in the hell would Netflix hire this huge embarrassing failure? Correct me if I'm wrong here. Didn't Netflix already try this with Chelsea the coat handler? You guys remember her? She was an unbelievable failure on television. She decided television was antiquated and streaming was the future. So sometime around 2017, maybe 2018, Chelsea launched a late night show on Netflix. 1 year later, the show was canceled. Now, according to Chandler, I turned in my resignation because I was tired of making money. Yeah, this unemployed doofus expected us to believe that she voluntarily walked away from her only paycheck. Those of us who aren't delusional, we know that Netflix canceled the show because no one was watching it. So why would Netflix be willing to pay Stephen Colbert millions of dollars to produce a show that no one wants? It's been about a month now since Stevie Colbert was fired. You know how many normal people I have seen begging other networks to hire him? None. Outside of his pretend friends in the media, no one wants Stevie on their TV. The firing of Stephen Colbert, it's got the entire industry of late night in a panic. Earlier this week, Jim Fallon invited Greg Gutfeld on The Tonight Show. Jim Fallon spoke with Gregory for a couple of reasons. Number one, Greg Gutfeld is the king of late night. You would have to combine the audience of the trio of huge embarrassing failures and maybe throw in Howie Stern's audience too to equal the ratings that Greg Gutfeld is drawing on Fox News. But I think the main reason that Jim Fallon invited Greg Gutfeld on The Tonight Show, Jim Fallon gets it. Of the trio of huge embarrassing failures in late night, Jim Fallon has always been the least political. To be honest with you, I don't think Jimmy Fallon really cares about politics. If you look at his career, Jim Fallon is known for being a doofus. And I don't mean that as an insult. Chris Farley was a comedic doofus and he was brilliant. Jim Fallon used to dress up as a teenage girl, used to play the role of a prepubescent boy at camp, whatever the fuck, with Justin Timberlake. He was never really political, and I think he was encouraged by NBC or forced to be political once Stevie and Jim Kimmel embraced the woke wiener. Greg Gutfeld appearing on The Tonight Show, that would have never happened a couple of years ago. Maybe Jim Fallon is realizing that it's easier to draw an audience when you're appealing to the entire country, instead of appealing to the dwindling minority of wanker spankers who dye their hair blue while dating women with a 5 o'clock shadow. I think Stephen Colbert's career is over. If you look at people who have failed in late night, they seem to disappear quickly from the mainstream. Has anyone seen Jorge Lopez lately? What about Sam B., Chelsea Handler, Travis Noah? I think this is it for Stephen Colbert. I think his career in the mainstream is over. What about you? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.